I'm your host, Ken Waller, and today we're going to be talking with Mr. Kenneth Waller III, which will happen to be my son. We'll discuss what's behind his inspiration. Well, Kenneth began his professional audio and video journey over 15 years ago. Ken is a certified music production and audio engineer that proudly attended one of the finest HBCUs around, the Morgan State University. Ken quotes, "Trials and tribulations are nothing but stepping stones to greatness inside and out." In 2013, with the help and support of his family and friends, he founded Divine Sounds and Technology. His passion for audio and video, combined with his musical production gift, led him to create a company that provides live engineering reinforcement, sound system design, and audio-video installation for churches, businesses, and arenas. Although Divine Sounds Technology is the manifestation of his passion, his desires for creativity is still a calling waiting to be answered. In 2016, Apartment 301 Studio was established, and there began the parallel path with Divine Sounds and Apartment 301 Studios. That brainchild of Kenny, who also just so happened to be an audio producer, engineer, and songwriter. So again, family, I am pleased to introduce to you all my son, Kenny Waller III, and we want to find out what's behind his inspiration. So welcome, Ken. How you doing, son? Good seeing you.
Doing wonderful, Dad. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. So, without further ado, because this show is to inspire and encourage. So, I just want to know, again, first of all, I ask a simple question. How was your experience? I mean, what could you encourage others with in regards to your HBCU experience, and what made you choose Morgan State University?
Yeah, well, I always wanted to be a part of something that had people who shared the same background as I did. Not necessarily demographic, but more so, people who were the same color as me. I wanted to be taught by the same, engineers, and I wanted to be taught by the same professors and all who shared my plight, and who understands, the backgrounds that we come from and the hardships that we face. So, but not only that, I think it's a really, really good, important point to support our HBCUs. And, whether that's male, female, or anything, I think that is a really, really good thing that I attended, and it helped me out a lot in my career.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I believe that we should start supporting our HBCUs based on the fact, even in times like we're dealing with right now, we have to identify our strengths, and we have to take those strengths and parlay them into something good that's going to benefit everybody. And right now, especially young Black men. I'm just going to be honest about that, But also, too, I know something else, again, I know some of these things about you already, but I just want to make sure that we can share those things with our listeners. After you graduated, from Morgan, you wound up working in Washington, D.C., and commuting back and forth to D.C., you had to be inspired to even do that. So, how did that journey in itself, define your career initially?
Well, I wanted more than what I had. Not necessarily monetarily, but I just wanted to, create something for myself that I never had the opportunity to do. Mm-hmm. And that was, get up in the morning and go to work and wear a shirt and a tie and, meet people and shake hands and, just see different things that I didn't get the opportunity to experience, because a lot of the times, even coming from different environments, we don't oftentimes put ourselves out there to do that much, to wake up at 5 a.m., 4:35 a.m., mm-hmm. to drive to the train station, to get on a train and commute that, that distance, front and back, But I knew ahead of me I had a journey, and that journey was going to take me on twists and turns that I was prepared to take, and I really wanted to do it. And I knew that I needed to grow. I needed to leave my element, which was Baltimore, working in the city and doing things like that, and take it to a whole nother place.
Great. You know, because DC itself is you know, just so happen right now, is a little more progressive in regards to, you know, new parts of the town coming up. You know, you got your coffee shops, you know, your little boutiques, and, you know, believe it or not, it's progressive, and the scenery is really something that, you know, you can soak in. And it gives you an opportunity to be, like you said, around other people doing different things and more progressive. So I do understand that, you know, but, you know, what kind of, okay, now with your music production, your audio career, you know, HBCU, a lot of that stuff. So what advice could you give somebody that wanted to get into that particular field, you know, audio, video production? What advice could you give some of our listeners? And yeah.
Sure. I would say keeping updated on your technology, knowing what the current trends are and knowing what the industry standards are. They will change, of course, over time, everything changes, but it's good to have a good indicator of what people are using right now. But not only that, what works best for you. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody has their own tool case, you know, and different tools in it, mm-hmm. but what tool works better for the situation that you want to apply it to? Mm-hmm. And that's really the biggest part. But number two, and really the most important thing, keep God first, mm-hmm. really staying mm-hmm. humble, yes. you know, and making sure that the people that you interact with, that you treat them good and you treat them kindly. Mm-hmm. Golden rule, treat other people like you want to be treated. That's the bottom line.
And, you know, and I tell you, you won't say it because you like being humble, but, you know, you have worked with some really top of the line industry people. You know, you work with Tamala Man, which I thought was one of my favorites. Richard Smallwood, Dietrich Hatton, Mike Phillips. You know, we can go on and on and on. And I really, I'm saying this too because you are my son. I appreciate the fact that you don't let those particular things elevate you. You're humble and you understand the fact that without God, none of this stuff is possible. None of it. Amen. And I'm glad that you have, or I should say, I thank God for giving me what I have inside of me to give to you, so we can keep this legacy thing going, man. So I am super proud of you. And you know, as far as deep down inspiration, what really like continue to inspire you, man, to just keep on moving? There's got to be something in there, you know, outside of just having a passion to do these things. So to share with us a little bit about what deep down inspired you.
Man, wow. To be honest with you, I do remember that the first time that outside of the first opportunity of me creating music and things like that, I knew that I wanted to do audio video and just production itself. I was at a concert. I was hired by a guy. You know, he said, "Hey, I need another roadie. Can you come on and, you know, help me out?" So we were at a hotel, and I just remember setting up for the show. This was like my first real concert that I've been to. So everybody plugged up. We get the bass player, the drummer, guitar player, keyboard player, everybody connected and hooked up. And I promise you, I don't know what it was, but it was like the first note was magical. As soon as I heard bass and keys and drums just mixed together, it just almost made me forever a fan. And so from that point, I think I was about 22 years old or so. But from that point on, I knew that this is what I wanted to do because it never gets old to me. You know, I can hear the same song 345 times, and each individual time it'll feel different. But that's just the, you know, thing that music brings to you. You know, it inspires you in so many different ways that it's countless, and that's the beauty of it.
Awesome, man. That's awesome, Ken. And you know, again, I'm just like super thrilled, you know, to see your progression And I am saying that from a standpoint that, again, I am your dad. I mean, we don't have to keep laboring that fact because, you are my son. And I am just really inspired by some of the things that you do. And I just want everybody to know that there are instances where you inspire me. So I just want to thank you for being the kind of son that you are and doing the things that you're doing. And, you're giving other people opportunities to be inspired by something that they enjoy. And also too, it's just your love and your passion for people, man. I can truly and honestly say that is in you. So Ken, I just want to thank you again for joining the Behind the Inspiration podcast. It's been a thrill just speaking with you and you sharing your inspirational story with our listeners. And I just want our listeners to know that this particular conversation can be seen on YouTube, and also you can hear this podcast on Anchor Podcasts, Google, Spotify, or any of your podcast platforms that you use. Information on how you can reach Ken Waller will also be in the show details. But I do know for sure you can find him on Instagram at divine_sound, or you can hear him also or see him at apartment 301 /music.com. Well, anyway, I know the information. That information most certainly will be found in the show notes. So please continue to listen to this podcast of inspiration. I ask that you would like the show, that you would share the show, because I know some of you have thousands and thousands of friends. So I want thousands and thousands of people to call into the show or listen to the show or whatever it may be, because this show isn't about me. It's about encouraging others by me needing to be encouraged myself. So thank you again. Peace and love. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.